What's going on? What's going on? I don't understand what's going on here. I said it before and I'll say it again, again. I said it before and I'll say it again, again. I said it before and I'll say it. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't understand what's going on. I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it again. Say it. What? I don't understand what's going on.
Let's look at the fun. I'm trying to get to sleep.
I don't understand what's going on. I said it before and I'll say it again. What's going on? I said it before and I'll say it again. I said it before and I'll say it. I don't understand what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
This is most disturbing.
What's going on?
This is most disturbing.
No, I'm making the arbitrary decision that this track is terrible and we're going to change it to a different one. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome back to what I like to call the House of Disaster.
Oh, baby.
Okay, Game 2, Whirlwind. Well, this could go on for a while. Minigun and Puck actually had, I think, quite the game on this map that lasted about 40 minutes.
Yeah, Whirlwind's a hard map to actually close out. I do think that State Style is vastly superior to miniguns on this. Well, let me be more specific. This Gateway plus Stargate unit style is vastly superior to a Robo-based style on this map. There's just so many angles, and we saw how in the mid-game State was way on minigun's side of the map safely for a majority of the time.
Yeah, absolutely correct. Let's see how it goes. Minigun is going to have to break something out here. I'm intrigued to see what kind of builds will be put into play, and once again we see State's double forge style being vindicated repeatedly. Like, every time he does this, he has won in this tournament. So I am very impressed by it so far. I think it's a great, safe, but intelligent transition.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing that you have to see the right window to be able to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But it's not a particularly complicated window either. It's just, oh, my opponent is focusing on defense. He's taking his third. Oh, I see him starting his second robo. No attack would be coming soon. Those are the sort of timings you're looking for.
All right, let's see if he can pull that one off again. If Minigun has something else up his sleeve, his opponent is to the northwest position. He's currently at 1 game in this best of 7 series, looking to try and make his way to New York, which would be, to be fair, a brilliant result for someone that has been out of the scene for quite some time. He is
State
versus his opponent to the southwest position. In the blue trunks, playing Protoss, looking for an all-route final. He is
Root Minigun.
Let's analyze pylon placements with Day 9.
Hello, I'm Day 9, the pylon placement master. Same thing as last time, root minigun, keeping those slits, so that way he has these nice micro positions. State, also very standard looking positioning. If there is some sort of aggressive rush, he has the pylon semi-protected. Should likely be planting his second pylon to be able to power the gateway. I'm always so leery of like having a second pylon away. It's so easy to lose and so unnecessary to plant it that far away.
Certainly. We've got both for gas taken. State putting only 2 probes into gas. This is ridiculously common these days in this matchup, I tend to find, or even in any matchup. They love to throw down the second gas, but only put 2 probes in each.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing where you have around 175 gas or so when the core is done. If you start doing rally-ins, like the way that State's doing. The way that State's actually rallied in, he should have almost exactly 200 gas when that core is done, which means that he can then go Mothership Core, Stalker, and Warp Gate. And there he's returned back to rallying. 13 probes on the minerals is pretty common. And it's just, if we actually just focus on State's base, you can just see this really sexy distribution. Yeah, right as that finishes, there's a... oh, he's actually going Sentry and Core. But still, I want you to envision for a moment that he went Stalker instead. He could get a Mothership Core
It's
there
in my
as well.
mind. Yep. That's cool. Well, the Mothership Core will be following up pretty quickly. Of course, the gas requirement of the Sentry will delay that slightly. He's currently building yet another probe, so he is delaying that core right now. Whereas his opponent is grabbing his core and putting the second gateway down. So we're seeing a very similar opening here from Minigun. A second Sentry being added from State, which is again... There's the Mothership Core. All right.
He's trying to time this because if you start the Nexus the same instant that the Mothership Core finishes, then it means that you will have 100 energy on the Mothership Core right when that Nexus is done. So with this current rate, the Nexus finishes and the Mothership Core will be at like 96 energy, so a few seconds pass and boom, Photon Overcharge.
Attempted scout by State does not see the Twilight Council. He does see the 2 gateways. He does see the Stalker count. Useful information to have. The Twilight Council, on the other hand, would have been even better. So there's a couple of ways that this could go down. We could see a Dark Shrine come down, but it seems like it's more likely that we will see Blink.
I think it's DT. It should be DT here. It's kind of weird to... Okay, he's going Blink. This sort of push that's going to happen, first Minigun's going to pop up with a whole bunch of dudes, force State into using a Photon Overcharge now, and then, in theory, do a lot of damage with this Blink. But because he's going Blink, I'm actually a fan of not getting a third gateway. And there he goes.
Never mind. Everything that you're a fan of today, he is going to do the exact opposite of because he's a dick.
Well, I mean, part of it is being a dick, but I mean, the other part is I'm trying to think about where his edge is going to be. There's the Oracle popping out right now. So see, here's the Photon Overcharge. Oh my God, get it!
There we go.
That was so close.
All right, it's even contributing to the fight right here. The force field placement was pretty good. The Sentry Micro, exceptional here, and that was held.
That was a very close fight. Now, you see, this is the same push that happened last game. What did it force? It forced an Immortal to go down. Okay, now that you have the Immortal down, you've forced your opponent into... now you have the Immortal down. Your opponent's going Blink Stalkers. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
forced him to go for Immortals, and now you're building units that Immortals are good against. I mean, if you're State, you're just going to go, oh, well, I guess I'm just going to go Stalker Immortal.
I wonder if... I was going to say, I wonder if it's a mind game and State decides not to build the second Immortal, and then, one Immortal is pretty easily killed off by an aggressive Blink. But with the second Immortal coming out, State's in a pretty good position to hold this. The only thing he doesn't really have going for him is a Photon Overcharge. He also needs to watch out if he gets caught into a bad Time Warp position. That would be really bad indeed. There's the Time Warp. Down goes the Mothership Core before a second Time Warp is available. And again, that was held pretty well. And the second Immortal's going to be out now.
Yeah, the Time Warp only has so much efficiency if you have Force Fields out, because, I mean, you're going to run away, but then there's going to be the Force Fields.
Blink
This is
right
a
on top of the
terrible
Immortal.
move. Oh, a terrible blink up by Minigun. Total desperation. I'm completely lost and baffled as to why he did this. I mean, this build that State does is very clearly designed to deal with Blink.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, yeah, okay, you can Blink up and take an Immortal out. Great, but you should know there's a second Immortal coming, and the third one will be on the way. This follow-up attack is weak sauce in every possible respect.
It's a good
GGs.
game.
Yeah.
A very confusing
sort
game.
Of. Yeah, I mean, I would, for the mana's sake, I'd definitely call it a good game, but State played absolutely the way he should have, and Minigun made a really odd choice, I think.
I feel like this is one of those examples that would suit a StarCraft textbook really well, to say, aha, the early expand PvP build with Sentries and Mothership Core. Situation A, holding off Blink Stalkers. Ta-da! I mean, if you're maybe doing that opening, if you're maybe doing Blink Stalkers on Cloud Kingdom, that can make a little more sense to me, because a push at the front's not working. Oh, no big deal. I'll Blink up into your main base. There's alternative locations for those Blink Stalkers. But I was I was absolutely baffled.
Well, I mean, you were convinced he would go DT, and to be fair, my call was just out of blind luck and coin flipping. Your call would have been correct, because DT would have been a better answer. Not the best answer, because of course you're still dealing with the fact that he has a Robo down, but better than that. I think the only situation where that works is if you can somehow pick those sentries off, and he's not quite ready for that. But he wasn't able to, and the sentries played a huge role in that. And sorry, go ahead.
What I thought was going to happen is that you go DT, you first apply the Stalker pressure, boom, Photon Overcharge out. You don't kill the Mothership Core. It's like, this sounds so stupid, but you have to let the Mothership Core live.
Yeah.
Because if it lives, he can't build a second one, and he's going to be at 0 energy. If it dies, he rebuilds it, and then it starts at 50 energy, so it's a lot sooner for the next Photon Overcharge. So you let it live, but you force the overcharge and you try to pick off the sentries. Okay, cool. Then you go DT. He may very well not have an observer there, and you win.
He's pumping Immortals out,
Yeah, but if he does have the observer out, you just pull back, and you've gone 4-gate, and you go do an all-in with an Archon to break down his force fields, and then you just sort of crush him with Zealot Archon at the front. This is a really common play. It's actually kind of annoying to hold off if they do it like that, but I mean, the Blink just fell apart. So State's leading 2-0, looking really just unbelievably solid in PvP.
Certainly. You know what would be neat? Something that we might see later on as PvP continues to develop? The idea of killing your own Mothership Core.
Yeah, I mean, in fact, if you're up against a 4-gate and you throw down the Photon Overcharge, you should immediately kill your Mothership Core. It's one of the easiest ways to defend 4-gates is to just continuously throw down Photon Overcharge and then kill your Mothership Core.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. But that was weird in pretty much every respect. But every now and again you have a game like that. That's just the case of it. And now we have State in a really solid position going here onto Belshire Vestige. He is in the red trunks, and he is playing Protoss to the southeast. Versus his opponent, it is Root Minigun to the northwest position in the blue trunks, also playing Protoss. Now, Minigun has stated that he is not that comfortable in this matchup at all. And as a direct result, I think, we're seeing a lot of confidence here from State. State is playing a nice defensive style, and it's working absolutely fine. Minigun's trying things here and there. He was definitely a lot closer on the first game to winning it, and that game was just kind of it was a misread, I guess, an odd decision that just didn't pay off. So Minigun has to go back into this game just with a fresh head and just say, right, well, that was dumb. Let's not do that again.
Yeah, I mean, it could very well have just been a misread, like in the last game to have said, okay, well, I saw him preemptively set Stalkers all over the place to defend against air. And we did see State do that in that game. But State also sent out the not the Chrono Boost, the hallucinated Oracle to check out the main base and to see stuff. So, I mean, Minigun may have seen that Oracle float in and gone, oh, God, just tapped out.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to see inside the mind of the players. You often have to just ask them in an interview, and after they've lost the series, they're definitely not in the mood for that. Yeah. I remember the legend. There is a legend of StarCraft 2, by the way, which emphasizes the point that you never, ever, ever interview the loser. And that was at an event in Italy called the Ultimate Gaming Championship, where Cloud lost against Hazawubs and was, for some inexplicable reason, brought on stage to talk immediately after the loss about why that actually happened. Oh, we had a little bit of lag there. There we go. Okay, that's been sorted out. Oh, anyway, yes. Well,
what did Cloud say on stage?
He said Protoss is bullshit, I believe, and various other interesting things. Right, while standing right next to Hazawubs, I might add.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I remember in the early IEM days, they'd like bring the loser on stage and take Sen. You don't know Take Sen of Take TV runs the amazing Home Story Cup and Team Story Cup.
Yes, I very much do.
Oh yeah, I mean I know you do because you casted for it. But
hopefully these guys do, because it's a great tournament.
Oh yeah, but Take Sen would be up there and be like, "So Morrow, you're eliminated from the tournament," and then you just hold the mic to Morrow's mouth. Morrow would be like, "Yeah, I feel horrible," and he'd be like, "So what do you do now that you've been eliminated?" And he's like, "I drink." And Sen's like, "Okay." And Take Sen turns to the other guy and he's like, "All right, so you won." And holds the mic. Your opponent will be drinking soon. What do you think about that?
Take has improved his interview technique significantly since then, I must say. He's also not been put in these awkward positions. Like, I think if the organizers tell you, right, you've got to go interview the loser, and then you have to just do that, then there's really not a lot that you can do. There's no way you're making that not awkward. Yeah,
I mean, I am exaggerating Take Sen's interview technique. He did a fine job interviewing, but I do not want to under-exaggerate how awkward it was.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Now, State is changing things up. He's actually going to go for a Stargate build this time around.
Cool opening. He has effectively done the exact same basic framework setup as the other build.
Yeah.
He's gone for the Sentry first. He's sending the probe out. If there's any scout, it could be very easy to confuse it for an early expand, but he's going to be opening Phoenixes. Should not be an Oracle opening. There's the Phoenix going down right now.
Ooh, State just missed the proxy pylon going down there. It would be really nice to spot that one.
He should be should be okay, but the Mothership Core is a little bit delayed. He should have already had Photon Overcharge up.
Yeah, he does have a Sentry, so he will at least be able, unless he makes a mistake, be able to prevent this from going down. Minigun's trying to bait the force field pretty hard here. And he's actually just going to shoot the Sentry, which would not be a good thing at all. Mothership Cores then let them both in. Lost the Sentry. Not a good position.
What a fantastic force field right there by State. And he traps the two Stalkers up on the high ground. The Phoenix is out. The Mothership Core guaranteed to fall. Oh, a terrible idea by State. He should not be throwing down that Photon Overcharge. Excuse me, that Time Warp. He needs to save it for Photon Overcharge.
Yeah, absolutely right. And looked a bit dicey for a second there, but you're totally right. State absolutely force fielded correctly. And it's going to be this weird position where it's Phoenix versus Phoenix now, but State actually has significantly more. The thing is, the lifts will help him a lot here.
Yep, he's going to sack the Zealot to pick off the two Stalkers. Fair trade.
Force him back. Totally. He even actually kept the Zealot alive, which is a little bit lucky. Minigun could have clearly killed that. Phoenix versus Phoenix. I've seen this position in PvP before, and it usually favors the guy with the more Phoenix. I know it sounds really, really obvious, but there's not really a lot that you can do in that situation. I have seen players go for a second Stargate behind it because it's not what the opponent expects. State now has a good amount of map control and momentum, as well as harass potential now, though.
State is being very responsible about making sure his Phoenixes are never going in naked. It's very easy to think that you're scouting with Phoenixes, and then to mess up and lose all your Phoenixes to their Phoenixes, such as right here.
Yeah, that's kind of like that. Yeah, that's not good. That was a good start there for Minigun, though, certainly. He does have slightly more Stalkers. There are a couple more Phoenixes in now. The proxy pylon is put into place. The Zealot will now... That was a different Zealot. The injured one is still fighting, but that won't be for long. He's going to be an Immortal soon. And State is able to pick off one Phoenix, looking to try and take another, but he loses another Phoenix to the process here. Time Warp goes down. Double Lift comes in. And he's just got enough to make this work. He needs to warp in more units, though. There's no question about that. We need to see another wave. Minigun GG's again!
3-0!
What?
Wow! This is the exact thing we saw in the last series. A starting 3-0 victory.
Can Minigun pull this back? Now, we are in a situation where Minigun has already pulled back. It was a 2-0 into a 3-2 reverse sweep. But this is 3-0 in PvP. This is such the most comfortable position State could possibly be in.
Wow, what a... I mean, that's been a real treat. I mean, we talked about this in the Kane Gosu user matchup, that the full gamut has been shut down. Long-term play, State, with an unusual style, decimating the entire army of Minigun. Game 2, you have a rush, no problem. State has a complete shutdown prepared for that. Game number 3, different strategy, changing it up. Minigun, also trying to change up his strategy, gets shut down when they're basically doing the same framework, both going for Fast Phoenix. I mean, this is just an appallingly bad spot for Minigun.
Yup. It's terrible. And it's going to be very, very hard to come back from. It's going to require a state of mind. It may even require psychic abilities. And I don't know whether or not Minigun's psychic abilities are honed that well. Oh, dear. Man, what an ugly position for him to be in. If anyone could do it, it will be him. But State just looks rock solid. And as we've also seen, State is great at dealing with unexpected stuff. So if that ends up happening here, and Minigun decides, right, this is the way I get back into this by doing something risky, you know, kind of Gosu user style of doing it, then I think State will be totally fine. He has repeatedly shut that kind of nonsense down, and I don't know. This could be a 4-0 sweep. We might very well see an early end to this bracket here.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, the entire core of PvP early game is those timing pushes.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Minigun do it twice in a row, force the photon overcharge. You expect it. It's part of all build orders are these attacks. And that sort of really, really nice counter swing from State is the sort of thing that you really should be prepared for if you're Minigun. You shouldn't be shocked to run into a Phoenixing player. I mean, certainly when you do those sorts of pushes, trying to get up the ramp, I mean, I don't even really see what the goal is. It's almost preferable to stay at the bottom of the ramp.
Yeah, because, you know, if you're an idiot like me, you think that that's a bad force field. If you're a smart person like you think that that's a good force field. And says, oh, look, yeah, I've segmented off 2 Stalkers, and the reinforcements can't come in, so he can't get that critical mass that allows him to break my defense while not losing his offensive units. And State handled that really, really nicely.
Yeah, I mean, that was really great. It's easy to go, oh, and like force field and be like, nothing got up the ramp, yeah, but instead, like, I mean, I think that was like perfect, just getting 2 Stalkers up there. Yeah. I mean, weird fact, a Mothership Core beats a Stalker in a one-on-one.
Yeah, which you wouldn't think it would, but Stalkers are really bad at shooting things. Incredibly bad at it, actually. I'm very surprised they're still part of the Protoss army. You know, even Dragoons were better at it.
Oh, man, you just said positive things about Dragoons, man. That feels bad for the Stalkers.
They weren't good at anything else. You know, if they could actually get into position, then they were fantastic, but that would rarely happen. It's like herding cats.
Oh, man. Totalbiscuit.
Here we
Let's
are.
introduce them players.
Let's do that. Might be for the final time today, man. This could be a short cast indeed, but as we've seen in this tournament, that's not that likely. To the southwest position in the Red Trunks playing Protoss. His name is
State,
who now has a personal sponsorship, actually. Should point that out. You can see it at the top of the screen. He is sponsored by Gamefront, which is really cool because he's a teamless player, and it's always nice to see those personal sponsorships going down. Versus his opponent, who, funnily enough, also has a personal sponsorship that I should mention. It's not on his little board there, but I will talk about it in a minute. His name is
Root Minigun.
And he is personally sponsored by PlanetSide 2, the same guys that sponsor Axiom.
Right
Very cool.
on.
Yeah, they obviously have a lot of money to throw away when it comes to that. It's really cool to actually see Sony supporting a different game. That's unusual. Doesn't happen all that often, but I think it shows a nice bit of fan support. I mean, it helps that like half the PlanetSide team is religiously into competitive StarCraft, so I guess that's why.
Well, I mean, it's nice because it's actually true to the nature of gamers, you know, like...
Yeah. Gamers don't just play one game.
Yeah, I mean, like, no one does this with moviegoers, you know? It's not like you go see Star Trek and someone's like, wait, you saw Star Trek? But I thought you watched Inception. Aren't you loyal to Inception? It's like, you know, it's really recognizing the fact that, you know, if you love one game, then there's a strong chance you love a lot of games. So, so good on him.
Absolutely. Very happy to see that. Minigun, of course, happy to see that for his bank account. Always nice to have, but he's definitely not happy about this series. 3-0 down already. Puts him in a tough mental spot. No question about that. He's getting nasty flashbacks to his series against Life, where, of course, he went out of Dallas 3-0. But now he's in a PvP, a volatile matchup indeed. State just seems to have a handle on HOTS PvP in a way that Minigun doesn't.
Yeah, and in a sense, it's a very jagged feel of volatility. A lot of the early attacks, like the ones that we've been seeing, if you have the right defense off, you completely hold it off and you're fine.
Yeah.
If you miss a force field, you die immediately and want to kill yourself. It's not quite the feel of... Well, I guess I would say that the reason it's sort of jagged is that there comes a point where players start to say, well, okay, I'm not going to take that risk and go up the ramp because I know there's a huge potential loss. I'll just apply pressure and back off. So when you get to this level, you actually start to see the consistency of State really shine through, where suddenly all those jagged, high variance, high loss spots are gone. They completely eliminate, and suddenly we get to see cool things like this happen. Minigun hiding the Twilight Council. It looks like it's going to be a Dark Shrine.
Yep.
State hiding the Stargate. On this map, I actually think an Oracle is correct.
Yes, it would be. If DTs come down in particular, that would be wonderful. It gives you so many options, and it does give you that detection. We will see a Dark Shrine. There it is. No question about that. No reason to hide it otherwise. State gets limited information. He does know the 2 gas is down. He does know about gateways there, and it's going to be 4-gate Dark Templar.
Wow. You know, this is a map that's very difficult to go Phoenix on. Look at the ridge of State's base. Big, wide-out, spread, expansive ridge. Tons of places to blink up.
Yep.
Extremely difficult to defend if a player blinks up into your base. So he is going Phoenixes. And he's not scout... well, I guess he is sending out that...
Proxy Oracle.
That Oracle,
yeah,
but...
the hallucinated Oracle, but he's going Phoenix behind that. It's... This is a pretty big map. This might not actually even get there. Who knows? It's on its way across, but it might actually get shut down by Minigun Stalker here. No, looks like he's going to end up letting it in. Okay, this information is interesting. He sees 4 gates. He sees nothing else. He's like, where is your gas?
He should be instantly building an Oracle right now. He should recognize he sees no expansion. He needs to get the Oracle right now. You should expect that. That's a 7-minute warp gate.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't just look at the number. You got to look at the time.
Let's see if he gets an Oracle. He's not building an Oracle, man. He's going Robo. This is the wrong decision, in my opinion.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Looks like he's starting to maybe surmise. Blinking, he lets the ramp get broken. Oh! Look at that force field.
Oh, my God, Minigun, you smart son of a bitch. Look at that. He brings an Oracle and it shoves the Oracle into the force field. And now, what on earth is going to happen? Huge amounts of lifts here from State. But he is holding this incredibly well.
Wow. I mean, that was such a play from Minigun, but State's cleverly not building a lot of sentries. Very typical of Phoenixing players. He's building a lot of Stalkers and Zealots instead. Hang in there, T.
It'll be okay. It's looking all right. Everything's fine. We've got State now in a good defensive position. He has an Oracle coming out now. He's warping in Zealots. Going for a run-by here. Minigun is committed to 4-gate pressure at the front. There is, however, no sentry, which means that this army is going to get up there, and it's going to certainly do something. State is looking to try and get that reveal on there. He immediately spots it. Down goes the photon overcharge. Phoenix has come in with the Zealots. This is looking like a 4-0 right here.
And look, there's the Phoenixes show up. They're going to be lifting probes one at a time. This puts the clock on them. This says you can keep attacking, but this game has a time limit on it. You either win it in a few minutes or end it in a few minutes. And oh, 1 pylon to power them all.
Oh, dear God. Another Oracle goes down here. Minigun is continuing to be aggressive. This pylon will be shut down. Artosis is crying in his bed right now. All 4 of these gateways shut down. This is it. There is no chance now for Minigun to come back into this. Surely he loses again on the defense. All of the gateways are unpowered. The Zealots destroy the economy. State will take 4-0 in a ridiculously